Hey family, welcome back to Buzzworthy Veterans. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. Today I have the honor of sitting next to Brewmaster himself, Ron Gamble with Veterans United Craft Brewery. Ron, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, sure. It's my pleasure.
So, before I get into the excitement of the brewery and how that even came about, tell us a little about your military service.
I served 8 years active duty, 4 years reserve in the U.S. Navy. I went to college under a Navy R2C scholarship. I was commissioned in 1987, went to flight school, got my wings, and then I was stationed here in Jacksonville at Naval Air Station Cecil Field, and flew off of USS Forrestal, which was one of the 2 aircraft carriers based out of Mayport at the time.
Man, pilots are super cool. Like I can never be one. I need glasses, but that is just super cool. Tell us, what is probably the most exciting or interesting thing about being up there in the air?
Well, I'd say I love the Navy. I mean, who gets to take off and land on a ship that's rocking and rolling? And to me, that was the ultimate of excitement. I went into the Navy right around when Top Gun was out, so that was like the biggest thing. So it was something I was very passionate. I wanted to do something exciting, and that held all the cards for me.
I'm ready to go be a pilot now.
There you go. So.
All right, so tell us, how do we go from Navy pilot to brewmaster?
Yeah, it was a long journey. So I got out in '95. I got my MBA from Virginia Tech, and so I knew a buddy I flew with, and we got a company started out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was right when the internet was taking off, and so from there, he and I did a couple of internet startups, very successful, sold them to the likes of Intuit, Lycos, AC Nielsen, and so from there, it was fun, but I ended up getting a home brew kit in 1999 from my wife as a hobby. And from there, the hobby took over as a passion. And then in 2007, I was, as you know, as an entrepreneur, startups, they can burn you out a little bit. So I wanted to take some time off. So I went to the Siebel Institute. It's one of the oldest brewing schools in the country. Finished my studies in Germany at a German brewing school, and then came back, and I was, hey, I'm here to try to learn, and even though you have this formal education, you still have to start at the very bottom, and whether it be as assistant brewer, and then from there I kind of worked my way up, knowing that I always wanted to start my own brewery. And we were living in Massachusetts at that time. My wife's from Florida. She's a Navy brat, and so she likes warm weather. So we said, if we're going to start a company, we want to do it down in Florida, and in Northeast Florida, and specifically Jacksonville.
Awesome. And so you moved down here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you envision Veterans United Craft Brewery? Was that what you?
Oh yeah, that was the risk. I often look back and go, I mean, talk about sweating bullets. What happens if we moved down here and it didn't take off, or I didn't pull it all together? We jumped in and sold our house in Massachusetts and moved here. My wife's a pharmacist, and my goal was to get the brewery going. I didn't have any other job but to get that going.
So tell us a little bit about the company itself. What are you doing within the company?
Sure. So again, we're Veterans United Craft Brewery. I'm the Brewmaster president. We are a production brewery, which means we distribute our beer into cans throughout Northeast Florida here. In production-wise, we're probably about the third or so largest brewery in the city, with Bold City and Intuition ahead of us. And we've been growing every year since we started. We're going on year 7 this year. We've expanded. We're as far south as Daytona, and we're still looking to grow our distribution business. We have a tap room here in town on the south side.
Wow, that sounds awesome, and it sounds like we could potentially visit.
Yeah, that's the best way to experience. We got about 22 different beers on tap, everything from a German style Pilsner to a cherry sour to an imperial stout. So, and we're always releasing a new beer every week. This week, let's see, I'm trying to think. We have we call it a chocolate peppermint ale. So it's chocolate peppermint. It's got a dog on it, and the theme is Valentine's. So because Valentine's Day. So but every week we have chocolate strawberry. We do a lot of little innovative types of beers. Next week it's our German Bock style beer called Mir Bitte. So more please. But
nice.
Yeah,
Awesome. Okay, well, I know the business. I know you're military, but I know you have a passion for community. How is the community working with Veterans United Craft Brewery?
Yeah, so we've worked with several local veteran organizations. The latest one that we've been working with is called Firewatch. What they do is they train individuals, train companies to recognize symptoms of veterans who may be, at risk of committing suicide. So we're one of the first Firewatch certified businesses here in Jacksonville, which means over 50% of our employees have gone through the training plan. And to help raise awareness to their program, we brewed a special beer called the Watchstander IPA. So because once you get certified, you become a watchstander.
Absolutely.
And it's I think at about 15 accounts around town right now, including the brewery. So with it, there's some limited release coasters that went out, so you could scan, and learn more about the program and sign up to take a course online to become a watchstander. So
absolutely, the watchstander is definitely a place. Here at Buzzworthy Veterans, I'm a watchstander, so it's important, and I know that our community needs them. So that's awesome that you've partnered with them, and I've also contributed to that cause.
Yeah, and the beer we chose, if you're familiar, it's called a Hazy Juicy IPA or a New England style. They tend to be incredibly hazy, not too bitter, very flavorful in hops. So it was one of those we wanted to spark a discussion when, hey, what beer are you drinking over there? Why is it so hazy? Is it supposed to be that way? Oh yeah, that's the Watchstander IPA, and hopefully, that would go into it. What do you mean? Well, what's a Watchstander? And lead to a conversation.
Absolutely, conversation starters are important.
Yep. So, but yeah, it's been a real successful. It was a fun project, and we're hoping if it takes off, maybe we'll even put it into a can later this year. So all of our beers at Winn-Dixie, Publix, Total Wine, ABC. So
okay, perfect. So if anybody wanted to find out more about your company, visit such and such, how can they go about doing that?
I'd say the best way is actually stop by our tap room. We're located just south of Bay Meadows Road on a little access road called Western Way. We're mostly a production brewery with a small tap room up front, so you think you're going and getting lost. We're not on a main street, but we've got some really cool paraphernalia in there, a lot of unique military posters, ones that have been donated to us. We've got some World War II memorabilia, so some really neat stuff. So I like to say every brewery, especially craft brewery, has its own unique character, and ours obviously is our heritage of who we are and what we're proud of, not just the beer, but it's our service as well.
Awesome. So, well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being part of the family.
Thank you very much.
All right, family, that's going to do it for this episode of Buzzworthy Veteran. If you would like to find out more about the Craft Master and what they're doing over there, go ahead and visit iwannabuzz.com. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. And remember, always vets, always family. I'll see you next time.